I'll show the tumbler in action here in a moment or two, but first I want to run down a few of the main features of the tumbler. What I'm showing here right now is the large belt driven pulley on the machine. It's driven basically by a good quality dryer belt. And I'd like to point out that this entire machine is belt driven. There are no gears or chains allowed on my machines. There's a reason the world's largest and best commercial dryer manufacturers advertise that they use belt drive exclusively on their machines, and the reason is that belts are quiet, reliable, economical, and very easy to replace. You don't have to worry about any noisy gear backlash or expensive replacement of gears or chains wearing out on a machine like this. And if you're worried a little bit about the large pulley being exposed, I'm going to show you here in a second. Maybe I can do a demo when it's running. If you should manage to find a way to get your finger trapped in here, you can see there's very little tension on this. You can just pull your finger out. That's what you're going to do if you do manage to deliberately stick your finger in there. You'll just pull it out and probably pull the belt off the pulley and have to stop and remount the belt, which is trivially easy to do. And down here you see the control panel with a direction switch here, so you can change direction. And here you see push button operation. These buttons by default are set for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 30 minutes. They can be reprogrammed to other intervals such as 2, 5, 10, 15, or 10, 20, 30, 60. Of course, and the buttons won't have the right labeling on them because they're labeled at 5, 10, 15, and 30, which I think is pretty good. The bottom button here is a stop button if you don't want to let it run the full timed setting. But you don't have to open this to stop it. If you want to stop it, you just walk up, push the cover, and it'll stop. And down here is the motor housing. There's a prop rod here on the right to prop it up when you're doing maintenance. You'll see grease fittings on the pillar block bearings. The motor needs no maintenance. The only time you might want to come in here is to adjust the V-belt tension, which would be practically never. And if you do somehow manage to overheat this motor, it has thermal protection, and there's a thermal reset button there. So you can just push that button and get back in operation. Never had one actually overheat. The motor's very ample for this machine. You could probably use 1/2 that size. You'll see it's mounted on 8-inch casters on the rear. These are flat free. They're not hard, they're soft like pneumatic tires, so they roll very nicely over rough ground, but you never have to worry about a flat tire. They cost me a fair bit of money to install in here. Up front here you see the same 8-inch flat free wheels, but up front they are on casters. And you'll see that I added steering locks to the casters. Over here on this side I've locked this one straight ahead with this lock. That's very useful if you're pushing the tumbler up a ramp, so it only goes straight ahead and not sideways off the ramp. And as a sort of brake when you're using the tumbler, if you don't want it moving on you, you can lock the other wheel at 90 degrees like that, and in that setting the tumbler really can't go anywhere, and it's just going to sit there all day until I release the locks. You see here these bungee cords. They serve a purpose. When you remove a panel on this, you change the weight distribution on the tumbler. That one side gets light, and if the fleece all happens to be on the far side, this will tend to rotate up To prevent that, you just take the bungee cord, latch it on there, and then for all your loading and unloading operations, you know, it'll stay right where you want it. You can use longer or shorter bungee cords as you want, and you don't lose them because I've provided hooks here so that they're always here at the ready when you need them. Of course, you see I've put it on a sturdy frame that's all 1.25 inch, 16 gauge steel tubing, except for these two crossbars up front. Those are 1.5 inch by 2 1/8 inch thick steel, very robust. And I've added what I call an ankle saver down here. Before I put that on, there was pulling it around once with the handlebars and pulled those right into my ankles. It smooths the old bar there is a lot more comfortable hitting your ankle than a sharp corner. You'll see up here I've added large foam covered handlebars for maneuvering it around. Inside, I've strengthened the fiber pins in here for sorting. These are 3/16 inch zinc plated steel, very strong and very effective. These are all removable, and different configurations can be played with. And I've also mounted these in a staggered arrangement. This one is mounted to the left, as you see it. The next one down is mounted center, and the one over there is mounted to the right, which I think just makes them a little more effective. And one last feature, very simple little thing, but handy, I think, is a little hook there to hang the cord on when you're not using it. Then you only have a place to hang the cord. And other features I'll show you here in a second when we get it done. Of course, you can see the belt guards there that are there for your safety. And on the frame down here, I've added an ABS plastic guard there to keep chickens and such from coming through there while it's operating. So I'll stop this now, and the next time you see me, I'll be loading up a load of fleece and letting you hear how quiet this runs. I forgot to mention that this motor assembly, entire assembly, the pillow block bearings and shaft and the motor are mounted on a 1/8 inch thick plate. That plate is floating on 4 vibration dampers. That's a new feature, and it makes this tumbler very quiet, very smooth. I'm very happy with the results on that. You'll get to hear that in a minute here. Okay, I've got the machine set up, ready to go. It's leveled from one end to the other, so that the fleece doesn't collect on one end. You can see it's tipped sideways to the left, but that doesn't matter. We don't have any level ground on our property here. So I'm going to walk over, I'm going to start it up, I'm going to push the 5-minute timer button. I won't wait the full 5 minutes, so and then I'll stop it and reverse it and show you reverse operation. You can see a very good tumbling action there, and we're about 8 feet away from the motor right now. And I don't know, it's hard to tell when you're listening on a camera's microphone, but from where I'm standing to my ears, it's very quiet. When you get about 20 feet away, you can't hear it over the breeze. Okay, I'm going to walk over and tap the safety cover on the timer to stop it. The the reverse lever and run it the opposite direction. And there you go, as easy as that. This fleece, by the way, you're not seeing any dirt come out because that's a clean fleece that we've already tumbled with the 1-inch screen. This is a 1/2-inch screen, so you're not going to see any second cuttings coming out either. But this tumbler is destined for a customer, and I don't want to get it all dirty before I send it off to them. We'll stop it now and unload it. Well, you don't need to see the whole thing. You've pretty well seen everything that the tumbler can do. There are 5 coats of spar urethane on the plywood. People ask me why I don't use plastic or metal. I just think the plywood is the perfect material for that. It adds rigidity, it's quiet, long-lasting, and the most economical choice. And it makes it look a little bit like a piece of furniture. That's what people say the first time they see it. And one thing I forgot to show during the demonstration, I was showing how safe the belt drive system is. The motor box is fully enclosed, so there's no danger there. And I have belt guards on the exposed large pulley, but just to show you how little danger there really is there. I don't recommend doing this, but I'm going to start it up, rotating clockwise as we look at it, and reach in behind the belt guard there and let my finger get caught in there, and you'll get to see what happens. You barely even feel that. It doesn't hurt. You just pull your finger out and the belt comes off. Now I'll show you basically how easy it is to remount the belt on there. And there we go, as good as new. And you got to see there how effective the push stop is on the safety cover there. Anytime you need to stop it quickly, you just tap the safety cover and it stops. What you're seeing now is the machine operating on its own after I've pushed the 5-minute button. It's been running a little over 3 minutes now. I just want to show you how it stops on its own after the timed interval is set up. Any moment now. Chicken seems to be anticipating it. Ouch. They seem to think they can feed on my legs. And there you go. That completes the demonstration of Ted's Tumbler version 4. Thank you. I might add here while I'm showing you the 2 different screen grid sizes that all 6 panels in this machine are removable, and that opens up possibilities as far as mixing any number of screen grid sizes in there to suit your needs. To give you an idea of the difference between a 1/2-inch panel and a 1-inch panel, I've arranged them here side by side with one of our hens in the background. To give you an idea, I'll zoom in a little bit here and you can see the difference. And I'll show you the result of 1 day's worth of tumbling with the 1-inch screen to show you how effective it is in removing seconds from alpaca fleece. What you see here is the result of a day's worth of tumbling of our alpaca fleeces, and you might look at that and say, oh my god, that's a lot of loss. But that was using the 1-inch screen grid sizes. What you see there are all the short second cuttings, which most people wouldn't want when they're sending their fleece out or their fiber out for spinning in the yarn and such. If you don't like that much loss, though, you can use the 1/2-inch screen or any combination of 1/2-inch screens and 1-inch screens to get the right amount of second cutting removal, whatever suits you. So thank you now for watching this. If you're interested in knowing more about the Tumbler, I have a full user guide on our website with more information and more photos. You can go to glacialridgefarm.com. Glacial Ridge Farm is all one word. You'll find a link there with all sorts of information about the Tumbler and also our alpacas if you're interested. And so thank you again for watching.